I remember when Jeannie was born. No, I don't remember it. I remember hearing it, that Dan said he did not want Regina to come home.
Mom can come home, but not baby.
Yeah.
But she did. You always got her way.
Yeah, we did say that.
And Dad says, don't have this baby before I'm done combining.
And I waited.
She ran out the field and changed his clothes quick and went to the
The
hospital.
hospital.
She obeyed once in a while.
Well, now changing the baby subject, I remember Dad's accident out on what road?
On 19.
Were you with him?
I was with him. I was
It was
standing on the fender.
A grain wagon, wasn't it?
Two grain wagons.
Grain all
So
over.
did the car fly over you?
No, they hit the side of us and then he flipped the car, went down the road, at least about a half mile. And I was on that side of the tractor where it hit.
Miles were shorter back then.
And it flipped the back wagon, but it just tipped over the other wagon on the tractor.
Yeah, and I remember Dad coming out of the barn with the cow shot after me. I was sure he was going to use it, and I ran out that farm lane, and he was in the barn yet.
I can remember when Sandy fell on the paint bucket.
No, that was
No,
Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah, red paint of all things.
Yep, all over me.
We were taught to learn to ride our bikes by going down the hill,
Oh, yeah.
and I don't remember which one it was, but went right into the shed. Did
Over
they-
over
With
the,
a sickle bar.
The sickle
Sickle
bar
bar.
and cut the,
Yeah.
did you cut the tire?
that was me.
I remember when the
I
tool shed,
remember when the one boy fell off of the tractor. I thought the heck of this thing was gonna go over. So he did part ways.
Which boy?
He stopped right on top of me.
Oh. Is that why you're so...
I'm sorry.
I remember the load of hay fell, loaded up as he was going up the hill, and Dad was worried because the boys are on the top and they're down the bottom.
I remember the first time I drove the tractor, he was in the wagon doing the hay. All of a sudden, he was beside me, he said, "Don't turn so sharp,
Yeah.
you're gonna flip the wagon over."
And I learned to drive the tractor, and then the next thing he was beside me, you're going to go down in the river.
What river?
Well, I was.
Creek back there.
Kind of a creek.
He didn't trust me.
Going out in the pasture and cut the thistles down.
Yeah.
Hot.
Haka.
What were you saying, John?
Oh, I remember when the shop caught fire.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
It took-
Burning, and Mom come running out there, and Dad told her, "Go call the fire department," and she just collapsed.
What?
You'll have to say the rest.
And Grandpa gave her a spanking.
Dad picked her up by the arm, and he go, "What?" And he said, "Go call the fire department." So I think he did.
It seemed like forever for
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yes.
fire truck department was only about 5 miles.
because the
from there.
gas
Less than
tank
five,
was there,
isn't
and was the diesel there too?
Yeah, diesel and gas each side of the door.
Yeah, that was
First thing they hit when they come up with that fire department, they hit that gas.
But
But-
you remember the gas man coming, filling the
Yes.
tank?
Oh, yeah.
He sleeps bare.
Jules, what did Jules say? I
Jewel.
mean, Jeannie.
Gee, come on, you didn't say anything yet.
What did you say? I can't quite remember.
Well, I talked about sleeping beside the bear
Oh, yeah.
stand, and he said, "I sleep bare every night."
Who's that?
The gas man.
Oh, the gas man.
He always brought those suckers.
Yeah.
Oh,
We always run to
Just like your grandchildren, our grandchildren run nowadays to do something. Here, gator.
I can still remember the old milk guy come in. He would throw rocks at that dog.
That's not the only thing, that dog liked water too.
Yeah.
Would stand inside the milk house and shoot water at it, just like our dog does.
How many remember when Ron got his
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the agitator?
Yep, Mom had called the doctor office. Mom was busy. She said, this is emergency.
Why didn't you go to the emergency room?
Back then you didn't do that, but
No, you didn't.
She called the Dr. April's office and people, they,
what time of day was it?
it was in the evening because
I
she was
kinda
combing
remember.
hair because we was gonna go away.
But why would you call the doctor's office late evening?
Because it needed stitching.
24-hour service?
Well, they were still there.
Well, Dad
And-
milked at 5, so I would have had to been around 5.
And I decided, this is something I'd like to do. Because I watched right there by them, stitching it up.
Because when she called and she heard her, what was going on, they watched us go by. You know,
The neighbors.
because it was all connected on the telephone lines at that time.
Oh, party lines.
Part of
Yeah.
the-
You got their, this hand or the other?
This hand right here, you can still see the scar.
Yep. And Dad would always comb our hair when it come to picture day because Mom, we either had surgery or something, and our barrettes were right here.
Yes.
That I don't believe.
I do. If you look
Felt
at our
like it was right
pictures. Look at our pictures.
Yeah.
But the thing I really liked, when we was kids and all that, in the morning we would have our devotions and all that, we'd sit around there. I know, as many times I had fell asleep as when we was kneeling there, you know, but
Oh,
I
Dad would
think-
fall asleep while he was praying. Oh, Father.
And evenings, Mom read books,
Yes.
like Light from Heaven and Precious Moments.
Yeah. Oh, I would
Bible
take it
story.
beside, I would take it later and read ahead. See what went on, you know, cheater. Sometimes I'd get caught.
And sometimes in devotions we would read Bible and we all had to take our turns reading around the circle.
And in the mornings when we had devotions, we kept an eye open for the bus.
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
hey, the bus is coming.
Dad could still be praying. Watch the children as they run.
And what I like too is when it was a holiday, we basically did our chores, but we would have time off in the day to do things together as a family. And I enjoyed that. I tried to do that with my family, but it didn't always work.
So do you remember when we went to Toledo Zoo
Yes.
and
Yes.
celebrated there?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
That's the time the car got sick. I had to go to the hospital.
Yep.
Who threw up in it?
The car got sick.
Because back then, we didn't have to wear seat belts.
Yeah.
Now we laid it back in the back window or we was laying on the floor.
That's
Yes.
when we took our long trip down to Georgia, all
Yeah,
that. We was,
Ended up
Mississippi,
into Wisconsin.
yeah,
and then
came up here.
they wouldn't even allow you to do it now, but we used to sit in the station wagon facing the
Back.
backhoe behind
Oh,
us.
yeah. Waving at people.
Yeah.
Honk, honk.
Yeah, but I want to tell you, in that station wagon, we'd drive it to church with 2 buckets of popcorn.
Sunday night.
And my sisters would go out there with their friends and lock the door.
Not all the time.
Oh, now, see?
Sometimes it's gonna be
Lock
on
the
that,
door
not
and
all
us-
the time.
And when we brought our friends, we couldn't get in to have popcorn because they were in there
You
eating
would
all
do
the
that too.
popcorn.
You would do it.
Ah, Donna, I think it was mostly us though. That's why I still like popcorn today.
You can have confessions nowadays.
It happened both ways.
Start from what you know.
Jeannie, you haven't said much. Are you too young yet? We're getting down there yet? Your age?
Remember how we used to go to church and clean church and early church?
Scrape that bubble gum off the bottom with the pencils and chew it.
True it, yes.
Gross.
Oh, we did.
Boy, it was a treat.
It was a treat.
We were not allowed, we didn't have gum at home much.
Dad was kind of the janitor and he would take care of the
We had
the
to
sound
sit-
system back there, and we would sit in the back room there.
And if you misbehave, why, your ear got slapped.
Yep.
Yeah, but people would say, I remember when your boys sat back there just as quiet.
You have a choice.
And we were not allowed to turn around and look around, but you know, to this day, I always said, because we sat and we seen everything going, and now we sit and we hear, we go, right away, turn and see what's going on.
So you remember when Dad found the little cord that went out to the back of the building?
Yeah,
In the church.
at the church, yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Wiretap. Seems like
That was modern day wiretapping back then.
What did he go for?
Well, I'm not gonna mention names, but a guy was he knew when the ministers get together and he'd record them from the old library there.
Oh.
Right? Is that?
He had a mic in the room where they would gather together, so he could.
Hear what they were
He
saying.
had cut a hole in the back of the church and got his stuff in there, and he had hid it all in, it was actually in the furnace.
Oh,
In the furnace?
yeah.
Oh, the duct system.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't know that, but I knew they ran wiring and all that.
Well, I guess I was cleaning something and I run into these wires, so I started checking where it was. So when I discovered that he had a speaker in the one prayer room, that he could pick up everything that they were saying in there.
Did you go tell the minister?
Yeah, they came over that evening, didn't they, or something? Didn't you get them to come over? I don't.
Floyd and Homer.
That's a story I don't remember specifically, but I remember when it happened. I was thinking you got them to come to check it out because you didn't have no idea what was going on.
Well, I know I
And then the wires.
run the wires that I know.
But didn't the wires go outside and then you didn't go beyond that?
Well, I run where that, I know that you have in the prayer room when the ministers always go down.
To prayer.
Or discuss things.
But didn't those wires run to that little room out, that little barn out back or something? Where he had
You know,
it didn't? So how did he know when to record or how did he turn it on?
I think he had a
Mode control.
remote control. or
Back
something.
then?
I don't know. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's not a big
that's what I mean.
deal.
It's, back then, they didn't have the mode control thing.
I don't know, I was thinking you had, I don't know if it was the ministers or who, but had somebody come and
Well,
look at it.
I probably took him and showed him where the stuff is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I probably did that and saw that, but,
Was the guy from church there?
Yeah.
Now you got me curious.
I kind of remember something like that, but I don't remember who it was.
yeah, I don't do
I suppose.
I don't remember Mom taking a bath with us, but everybody else does.
Yeah.
When she fell in
Yep.
the tub.
You don't remember
I
that?
don't remember it.
Oh.
I was probably out of breath.
I'm
that.
just
When
watching.
she fell in the
Yeah.
tub.
Yeah.
I do not remember it.
Nope. Dad was
But
out
I still
talking to
remember
the
taking
neighbor.
baths on the way to church.
Bed baths.
Especially your ears.
Behind your ears.
Yeah.
And going anywhere, church, other places, first thing we did is sit in the car and start singing.
Or Mom whistling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I can't whistle anymore.
And sometimes when you went to a place, you have to think how you say this. How did you say it? It was in Dutch, wasn't it? Chad. Some about food, don't overeat in case they don't have enough food.
Next to Felissa.
Huh?
Next to Felissa.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was all said in Dutch.
Also Nazi kite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, didn't us children say that because that came from Ryan Hilda?
No, that was Hooky He and chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
I remember Sandy saying that morning. Oh, down and chocolate.
Chick chick chat off.
And one time she said that, and Grandma goes, "Come on, boys, eat." Well, we're not supposed to be a pig.
How was that? Something I miss about mom's cooking. At supper time, all we had is pie and milk.
Oh,
Ribblesville.
druca pie.
Ribble pie.
Very dry.
She did do those pies, and I never could figure out why she ever thought that was a full-fledged meal.
Yeah.
I mean, they were good,
They were good, I remember.
but why would you make pie and have it with milk for your children?
Would you rather have that or Bruckle soup?
Well, ribble soup was good.
Yeah, they
Bruckle.
Record soup.
Calibrot soup.
Oh, I enjoyed those.
This past week we had,
What did you say it was?
Bruckle soup.
Holiday breakfast.
She said that.
Well, that's what.
That's what we wanted.
Yeah, the Bruckle soup is about the same, you just didn't say milk.
Well, how many remember it yet when I made a spanked somebody from wasn't here fall?
Well, I do. Oh, my goodness.
I remember that.
So you did it more than once.
I remember that kid, that was,
Oh.
That's
I suppose
been for
you all-
many years.
I suppose you sat in your windows upstairs and listened.
whose fault was it?
Nobody has come up with it.
Well, what everybody says it was me, but I don't remember the situation, so
She
if
was
it was
young.
me, I was too little to know what I was doing.
She probably was
Excuses.
just, on the pie. It just took
What was it?
time.
What are you
you know?
It
talking
was
about?
in,
I
but
wanna
the wall
know.
was colored. Somebody scribbled on the wall, and they wanted to know who it was, and we all denied it. I don't
Well,
really remember it.
Dad
all
That's
that
not
it was
even what I'm
there.
thinking of.
I don't remember
wow.
that either. But
What are you thinking of?
It was on a Sunday evening. They all wanted to go away. And I said, somebody has to commit. And nobody would. Well, finally Sandy said, I did it. So she got the spanking.
and it wasn't her.
What about the time there, you remember right outside the bedroom, the little walls that had
Yeah.
drawers and everything? I was accused or somehow, it was said that somebody took a pin and scraped the varnish on that.
I don't remember.
I got spanked for that and I didn't do it.
I don't remember that.
I don't either.
I don't either.
Okay. I do.
Now you
You
confess.
know what happened? You dreamt that.
I'm not sure.
No, I don't remember that one. I remember the writing in the bathroom. It was, all of a sudden it was there. I don't know
I
how.
just remember the tense moments.
I remember yelling, Mom and Dad, I'd go potty. Dad always had to stand at the bottom of the step and yell at me, climb back over. I would come out and come right over the banister. And
She
then
was
I'd
kind of sleepwalking.
climb back and go back to bed. I never did go to the bathroom.
I can remember John. He hit the bottom step. He was up reaching away. He fell backwards
Oh, that was out on the steps.
on steps outside.
Outside.
Yeah.
I remember he did it on the inside
Oh, yeah.
stairway steps too.
I thought he was standing on the way.
On the
was,
way,
yeah.
He was.
Outside,
wagon, and fell down and hit the corner of the cement.
It just seemed like Sundays wasn't quite enough for you guys, and I just had to reinforce it.
I don't think you were always the pastor. I think you
everybody
all had to
took
take
turns.
turns with the boys.
Used the old milk house for playhouse, stores.
Mhm.
And across the road, the lilac bushes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we
Nope.
used the center yard for our big farms,
Sandboxes.
sandboxes.
No,
In
we
the
played
fall?
ball in the.
In the fall, we'd rake the leaves to make houses.
Yes. And the one corner where it was dipped,
Water.
water standing, we could go out and play in that water.
Come down the hill with the bicycle, run through it.
Wonder how many times Mom and Dad really wondered about us going out on that road.
We would play out across the road underneath the
I
trees.
know.
Trees, and get poison ivy, I had
I
many
remember.
times.
I remember running out there and I slipped and I fell on the road and all I could see was that car coming right at me. And I got up and I ran into the woods. I do. I fell on the road and there was a car coming. I could just see that car coming. And I got up and I ran.
A half hour after the car.
I was thinking about
I think we could see a mile down the road.
Pretty well
it. It was
could.
closer than that.
I remember Mom buying those sandwiches with those little black seeds in them.
Yeah.
Oh, yuck.
What was it?
Those little black seeds in them.
Oh,
Papa seeds?
Papa seeds.
Wonder how
That
many
was salami, wasn't it? Salami meat?
Yeah, it was salami. I still can't
The meat
stand
was
Pick 'em
that.
out.
Oh,
I could
we
never
picked
stand
those
those.
things
That was
out
peppercorn.
over and
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Like chicken meat,
Yeah.
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 bologna.
Did you like them, Mom?
I don't remember.
They were just a little bit burning.
There must have been just the common thing back
Well, you
then.
can buy it today.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can. But why did she buy it?
It was probably the cheapest guy.
It was probably what Dad liked, so she just got it.
Did you like those little black
No,
things?
I didn't. I
Nope.
picked them out and threw them away.
See, that's exactly what we used to do. We used to have them in our lunch boxes, and when we get off the bus, we would throw it in the trees and go across the road and go home. I think they caught us one time. What did you throw?
Breadman Bill would always come. I remember that. Get our bread for the week or two.
Go around, then, go around, come in over there.
Remember when the children got into flowers? And after I got accused, I was went to sleep.
Well,
That was only Rose and Ron,
baking
wasn't
powder,
it?
not regular flour.
The what?
It was the baking powder, right? I mean, the baking flour.
Yeah.
Oh, we had that bay window. And
Oh.
I had the couch in front of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I must have went to sleep and the children got behind and I got the spanking that day.
Mom's confused. I
Well-
don't remember that.
When Mom used to go to the barn as kids, we really get some
Well, I think we spilled flour and
flour and
macaroni.
macaronis and noodles
One
all
time I
together.
was coming in from the barn and crash, crash, crash against the window till it broke. I remember who it was.
I remember we played hide and seek and we cleaned that one cupboard and we crawled in backwards so our faces, and somebody latched the door and the person panicked because we
You.
could not open
It
the,
was you inside.
I think so,
I think so.
because we could not open that latch.
Well, what kind of memories do you have of moving up here?
When the buzzers would always go when we go through to pay.
Yeah.
buzzer.
Yeah, when you put the money in there, it would buzz on us. And I remember we pulled front and we sit there and they go, please move on. Okay. So we went.
Remember Dave Hosteller and his truck? He was driving his big truck and he had tractors and some equipment on the back.
Pipeline and
And he could hardly make it up the hill, so he'd open the door and stick his
Oh, yeah.
foot up.
Because you know, he'd get a good laugh.
Like he was trying to help her along uphill.
But how many vehicles did we have? Dave and Ron had his car and I was with him.
And I drove the regular car. What did you
You must have had the,
U-Haul truck.
U-Haul truck, yeah.
And Mom, I remember when we were loading up, Mom panicked. I got empty boxes, where is my stuff?
No. Before you hide that cupboard, get Dad's billfold out of there.
No, Dad took the blankets out to use to cover the furniture, and Mom
I know,
didn't
but-
know that.
But they had to get Dad's billfold out of the cupboard.
Well, we froze the fish the first time, then we fried it.
Yep.
I remember a policeman following Dad home one time because were you in an accident or something?
Yeah, that was in
Had your
Indiana.
billfold with you? The policeman followed you home to get your billfold. So
Yep.
Yeah, well, the guy that owned the farm across the road, not from us,
Right.
but he was coming up one side of the hill, and I was coming up on the other side. And he was looking in the farm, and he came across the road.
So I
and got
said,
me.
Yeah. I was on that in the back seat and I thought I was hurt.
because Ron was leaning against the window sleeping or something.
Yeah.
And that evening in church, we were picking glass out of our ears.
Ah.
I know that was scary, but they took us in the house and
Anybody remember going out there and the wagon go down the hill? Right there at that house?
that's when we used to roll down that hill too.
Yeah.
So I remember after moving to Wisconsin that we didn't have very much money. So we moved at the beginning of December. And then for Christmas, we all got a sweatshirt, I believe. And also, we lived on a farm and we milked cows, but we had to drink powdered milk.
We didn't have cows then yet,
Oh,
so
we didn't have cows yet?
that's why we had powdered milk.
Okay.
And the cats almost died
The
on it.
cats wouldn't even drink the powdered milk.
But I still remember Dad building the barn door
Oh,
shut
yes.
with the truck inside. Someone come over and he said, how are you gonna get that truck out?
And we
I
thought
think
that
he
was gonna
almost
drop.
Next morning, he went out there quick and opened that door, cut it before anybody else seen him, and got the truck out and put the
Before
door.
even we was up out of bed, Dad had that truck out of that truck barn.
People were gonna come and help him, but
That's a
he,
little bit,
Huh?
it wasn't that quite that bad.
you were pretty
He
fast
had,
on
he had the
that.
truck out before the people came to help him.
Yeah.
That's the way it was.
I
I don't
know I
think.
went to town to get something,
Cut.
so I could get the nails and stuff out. I know that.
Ever wonder why they have to stick a Q-tip through your nose to the back of your head, just get a swab sample, hold it home, but drop it in the
Moved up
swab.
here, you don't have very many memories in Indiana.
No,
At one time.
8
I
years
was
old.
8 when we moved up here.
I was
So
12.
we could just
She
sit
was
on
the
there.
first
No.
grade, weren't you?
No, you weren't.
Second.
I wasn't.
Think about
You
it.
were 13 because I turned 12 the day we moved.
That's right.
Well, I act like a 12-year-old.
Yeah, yeah, mine.
Ron just got his license not long before that.
I remember, now this isn't made to consider you, but I remember riding with John out in the field, learning to ride the car, so we can go in and get our driver's license. 'Cause I missed driver's ed in Indiana, come up here, and they was already done. So I didn't have to do sleeves. So John was my teacher.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
John
wouldn't even
taught
drive?
different of the girls to
Well,
drive.
we didn't get it right away. Well,
Are you sure it wasn't Ron?
maybe it
What I'm
was.
saying.
We used the VW though. Was that your VW?
No.
No.
That was,
Cause I remember going out there choking it all
Well-
the time.
We didn't get the Volkswagen till you got license.
I'm sure you have license.
I'm sure
I-
you were probably learning how to drive the stick.
Stick shift,
Well, okay, that could be.
yeah, I'm
I don't
pretty
think
sure that's.
you would have had your license before we
Yeah,
got the
because we
Volkswagen.
had that green car.
Well, I remember
But we
going
wanted
into
to learn
town
how to
to
do this.
get my
Yeah.
license then.
We wanted to learn how to do the stick.
So it
Remember
must
when the
have-
guy tried to turn over the Volkswagen?
Oh, yeah.
On the way to church.
What?
Yes,
That was just us youth going to.
that was
some youth
kind of
was-
scary. That was kind of
He was
scary.
going around us and we'd go around him and we'd go back and forth and then we got to.
We were playing games with him that we probably
We got
shouldn't have.
to 27, wasn't it?
Yep,
There's
there,
that shortcut to go to
Yep.
church. Yeah. We drove that way to go to shortcut and he come up.
he
was
got
trying-
mad. We only opened the windows about this far. He
Thought he
came
could-
over and he started shaking that car. We were sure, no, like this. We were sure he was gonna tip us over.
We
But
don't know.
he was from out of state and he was all upset because he had such a bad heart condition and we were playing on the road with him and that's just terrible and yet he was,
Yeah, but he was the one that was just as bad, because he would pass us, slow
well,
way
but now,
down.
I mean, he would pass us because, I mean, the first couple times, I mean, he passed it, but then I remember what really got him was, as we came out of Stone Lake, I told you, slow down, let's make him pass us again. And then he got around us, and then we took off and went around him again, and that made him really mad. You don't remember that? See, the other ones were because of the hill. You know, Granddaddy Hill and stuff.
Yeah.
That is where he would pass us. And then, I think he passed us 2 different times, and then we were going out of Stone Lake, and I told you, let's just slow down, let's make him pass us again.
Something we were never told.
Oh, I think we talked about it before.
Oh, you knew about it, I
Yeah, I'm sure. I remember we were sitting there, and that guy was trying to rock that, and we were like, hurry up, there's church people coming. Somebody did see us, because they asked us at church about it. Yeah,
But
remember
I
that.
did, I don't know if they had their license or not, but these two rode with me to youth things a lot.
Well, I'm not.
I know we did.
You kind of taught the girls.
That's why I know it was John, because I took his bug and we'd go out in the field, driving up and down,
I had
trying
driver's
to
ed.
learn to drive this.
I had driver's ed because on Main Street I backed up and I accidentally hit the gas instead of the brake. I remember the teacher.
We only had one bug though, right? I guess what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. And was that yours?
Well, he drove it the most.
Yes and no. Dad bought us a car.
Well, Dad bought you a car and you had the accident.
No. It's not. Dad didn't have the money to buy me a car. So he went and bought the bug until he could afford to buy me a new car. Then I drove.
know he had the phone before.
Then I had
Okay.
the new car, and then I went to North Dakota. And I was up there at the potato harvest where I wrecked the car.
Remember when the
So did we have
boys,
the bug before you had license then?
Trying to figure out.
What were you saying?
I said, I wonder if the boys remember when they took the bug put down the road to Little, and after we went to bed, where they went to the car
Races.
race.
I think John did that often.
He just smiles about it today, it must be true.
It is true.
Are we done?
You can be if you don't want to listen to anything more.
What?
You can be if you don't want to listen to anything more.
But I can say this,
It's half an hour right now.
Dad and Mom, they were a good example to us and everything, how we were raised up. I know there were good times and there were bad times. I know I left home and all that.
Yeah, like, he left home, we didn't know where he was.
That was a
And the
sad
first
time.
thing that Dad did when we came home, we knew the Ron was gone. Dad came and knelt down by the couch and started praying. You went down right on the couch and you start praying.
Ron was gone.
Well, Ivan and Harold were here at the time.
Were they?
Yep.
Because I know you guys went to church. And came and got my stuff.
I know I was.
No, not church. We were fishing.
No, it was
No,
something
it was-
over at church.
No, we went to church, we came home.
Then the following Sunday,
Well,
you
that's why
had to
Ivan
bring,
and Harold were here.
Dad had devotion or something, and he had the prodigal son, talk about prodigal son.
Because I knew the next morning. Because I was working. And he came over there to see if I was there. And I was there. He knew where I was at then.
Well, there were other people that knew where you were and wouldn't even tell us.
That's what aggravated me. And it was a minister who decided. He couldn't tell me the truth.
Yeah, but then I remember the day that Dad took all the milkers, I was in the barn, and somebody was, we were having revival meetings for the week. And I knew I was under conviction. And we were in the barn before the revival meetings, milking the cows. And then I remember Dad must have seen something. He asked me what's wrong. I don't know what answer he gave me, and then finally he asked me, he said, do you want to accept Christ as your Savior? I told him yes. And I still remember him taking all the milkers off and laying them on the barn floor. We knelt there beside the buckets. He let me pray, and then he prayed. And the milkers back on.
I guess that's something I don't remember.
I don't know.
Milkers back on, and went to church that night.
And at one time,
He went up in the hay line, he was going to get hay down, he came back down and he said, okay, I'm scared.
And what I do remember.
and I remember one time Mom says, go get Dad. And there was some reason we didn't have devotion that morning. I don't remember what was going on. And I went out and I looked and looked all over and Bonnie says, I can hear Dad. Bonnie, I went up in the haymow and there was Dad praying. I turned around and went back in the house. Mom says, where's Dad? I don't remember it for sure, but I said, Dad's praying. I left him alone.
Well, usually you go out hollering. How did you holler?
Well, I might have too, but I remember him praying, and that really was, it struck me as a younger child.
And when Mom went in the cornfield and we couldn't find her.
Yeah, I know.
When Mom went in the corn and we couldn't find her.
We were searching and
She
searching.
was reading a book.
You remember that, Jeannie?
I
Oh,
just
that was in
remember-
Indiana, yeah.
Of course, we threw the eggshell out the door when Dad went out.
I can remember when we all took hold of hands, and I touched the fence.
Oh.
I was always at the end.
I can also
No.
remember that John put his tongue on the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Jeannie
Reading
did
the
that.
Well, Jeannie did
Jeannie
too.
did too.
Oh, yeah.
I remember holding the electric fence and I couldn't let go till somebody shut it off.
Well, didn't the twins do it? They go, we got snakes
snakes.
biting me, or something. Well, I remember this.
Good at that.
Jeannie was on my lap and Mom yelled for me. And I forgot I had her on my
Oh,
lap.
yes, yeah.
Boom, she went down and Bonnie got her calmed down and then we sat down to eat the supper and I opened the refrigerator door. Hit Jeannie in the face again.
She really had it against you.
I remember seeing that baby going. I'm like, oh, Rose.
I can remember when we
We
lived
usually
down
like
in
it.
Indiana, Mom had the hepatitis.
We all
We all had
had
to go get
shots.
shots, and when Dad got his shot, they stuck him like this and they bent the needle.
And John and Dan just sat there and laughed.
Well, I think we all laughed.
Yeah, but how many we've been laying in bed and coughing and coughing?
Oh.
And you hear somebody go down the stairs and you hear that glass bottle rattles.
You knew Donna had to
Kerosene,
come.
Here comes
Sugar.
sugar and kerosene.
Kerosene. Some people say, kerosene?
I know, but man, I'll tell you what, you went to sleep, you didn't cough anymore either. Or you tried to hold it so you wouldn't have to take it again.
Get the covers up.
I can remember when getting up,
Screen too.
I think it's time to quit.
I can remember when Dad would wake us up to go do chores and I'd get dressed, come down, sit in front of the register.
Yep, Pearl from the register and
Yep.
warm up.
Pretty soon Dad would come back in and he said, it's time to go to milk. It's time to go to milk.
John would hit the wall and tell the cow to move over.
Huh?
John would hit the wall and tell the cow to move over
Why?
It is sweet.
in his sleep.
Didn't Ron
It's not
sleepwalk
in
too?
English.
We don't know what he said then.
I don't remember. Is it full?
You could go another 26 hours if you wanted to.
One of the scariest moments I had is Dad would always holler out at 5 o'clock, time to go milk. And one morning I decided not to get up.
Yeah.
I stayed in bed. And I don't know if I went to sleep, but I heard him come back in. And I heard him come up the stairs. I jumped under the bed. And he come in there, John! And he hollered. I didn't answer. Finally, he just gave up and went back to the barn. That was a hard time going back to the barn, knowing I'd have to face him. And those rubber hoses.
Oh, those rubber hoses, those milker scraps. Oh, they would hurt.
Well, I didn't get to prove what one guy did.
Yeah.
Well, this didn't happen to him. This was another time. He helped his boys to come down to do chores, and they didn't come. And he came back in, and he got a bucket of water, and they heard him coming. So the guy, one guy, he got up, and he went behind the door. And when the guy came in, he took the bucket, and the other guy jumped behind the door out. He said, "Pour it on him!"
That wasn't our family.
Well, that wasn't us.
But that,
Do you remember we stayed overnight one time? I don't know if we did even, we were gonna come home before Dad gets up for chores. And then on the way home, we had the accident with the truck. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, we even asked if we could stay over. And we had decided we'd come home before Dad would get up. And then we ended up having the accident, right? Is that the way it went or not? I know we had the tie rod went out. We had to walk back. And Dad had no idea where we were at, I don't think, right? You remember that? We were having some church meeting, there were a bunch of guys there. And we decided we'd stay, I think we stayed at Sam's place there, Sam Yoder's. And then on our way home, we had that accident. And of course, we had no cell phones or anything. I'm not sure, we walked back. But I don't remember where we went to. I remember we started walking down the road. But we headed back towards Stone Lake.
Remember that same truck when we used to go get cows?
Well, kinda.
We used to run it back and forth here. Remember the little lawn tractor? We took the muffler off and drove it around the yard and bellered around.
I'm not sure I do.
That little Simplicity lawnmower.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it was the
And the
simplest.
mower gave out and then we just made a hot rod out of it.
Remember when we had your car and you wanted the seats a little bit higher?
Come out of the
Well, he would put blocks underneath the seats to make us sit a little higher. And Mom had a fit, found out, and then so we got in the car and we put ourselves way up into the ceiling, all hunched over and backed out.
You're not going to let them go that way, are you?
I think that's exactly what you said, I think.
Dad! You're not gonna let him drive that way, are you?
Remember a big truck patch in the garden in Indiana? I mean, it seemed like we picked peas and peas and beans and beans and beans and beans. It went on forever.
Let's peas and beans on the porch there.
Yes.
Yep.
And then Harold Mummy would be there telling the stories. It didn't seem so long.
But it did take us all day.
It did.
yeah.
I did peas just last week for Myron's. I had to think about Harold
We
Mummy.
had trouble for that. Yeah.
Was that Harold mommy or was that
That,
mom's mom?
Ken.
We were doing corn.
Ken,
I'm gonna slide all the way home. If I eat too much of this corn, I'm gonna slide all the way home.
Remember when Mom got the pressure, no, Grandma Rose got the pressure canner? And Mom was teaching her how to use it, and Dad comes in, and Mom had just said, this can explode. Dad comes in and goes, boom! Oh, Grandma just screamed and jumped.
I can remember when John put a key in the plug
And the outlet?
outlet. I tell you, fire flew.
It started right up. I'm done.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think.
we're done for right
I
now.
figured.
How many times did we ask that?
I lived in
I-
Minnesota.
I don't think you guys said a lot of truth.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember it.
You guys don't, you don't seem to,
I'm surprised, yeah, that you don't remember a lot of things.
You know, my memories are, because I was, I'm glad, are you?
I started up again.
My memories are, because I was so far behind,
Yeah.
is doing a lot of things by myself.
Yeah.
I
You were
remember though,
babied.
in the evening, it was a really big treat for Dad to take us to Dairy Queen.
Oh, yeah.
After the hay was done.
Yeah.
Or he'd come home from town with a bag of peanuts in the truck. We'd go out there and eat them. Yeah, he did a lot treating us to the dairy.
Well, not a
No, I
lot, but
don't
when he
think
did,
it was a lot.
it was a
Yeah.
big
It was
treat.
a treat.
Oh,
treat.
yeah, yeah, that's what I meant.
when we moved to Wisconsin, did we even eat out? Or did we just bring all the sandwiches and stuff along? I don't remember eating out.
No, we didn't eat out a lot.
Well, I remember one time stopping and getting a bucket full of Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh, yes, we did that, yeah. When we were on a trip or something. I remember.
Well, I don't hardly, I remember one time eating out my parents.
It just
One
wasn't.
time, I kind of remember, I don't know if it was moving up here or not, there were that army bases or whatever, you know, those rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember stopping there, but I don't remember what we even ate, but I remember stopping there. I'm not sure if it was on our way up, moving up, or was it one other time.
I think it was one other time.
I remember there, but like I said, I don't remember any. I just don't remember ever eating out really.
I don't either.
It just wasn't done like it is
Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah.
And you didn't have fast food places
Yeah.
No,
back
They
then.
were very.
because I know when we went on trips, you know, Mom would make sandwiches all the time. And chips. Stuff like
And
that.
chips was a treat. I remember when she packed our school lunches, it was a sandwich, and I forget what else she put in, but another little girl did not like her chips, so we flipped her, so I can have a chip, and she had something of mine. Yeah.
6 and 7 lunches, it was all like in a row.
Yeah.
And the night before.
But I can remember when we was going to school, say we was the first one on the bus, but I would be in the field early in the morning. Then I come quick home, even past, he had the school bus out running. I come home, I quick cleaned up, still made the bus. And when I got home, I jumped back on the tractor and away I went home. Quite a bit of the night.
I can't imagine how young I was when I run over. What was my age when I run over Dan?
And you were
Well,
what?
I bet you were 9, 10.
9, 10 years old? Because I know I couldn't sit on the seat.
How old were you? You remember now?
When I was conditioning
Oh.
and Dan fell off.
No, you wasn't disc.
Conditioning.
Well, I know you was too young to do it.
So when you say you ran over, like where, how much?
Well, you probably don't remember, we used to mow the hay with a sickle,
And then we used to have a conditioner on another tractor that would stir it up and fluff it.
Crush it.
It was a crusher, but it would fluff it up too. It was two rollers that we pulled. If you think about it, there was two rollers crushing the hay,
The rollers were going the opposite way.
and I fell off. Now, granted, I was on the left-hand side, but the tire went over me.
Where at? Where?
Well, I think I brought my legs up because I didn't have a broken bone or nothing. I think I brought my legs up a little quicker than I am nowadays. But he stopped right when the tire was on top of him. But you know, if I'd have been a couple feet farther, the crusher could have got a hold of me and boom.
But it was my fault. I was mowing in front of them and I stopped. And they didn't.
No, we were playing around.
No.
Yes, listen, maybe we didn't tell you. We had a torque on there, remember that?
Yeah.
And we were messing around with that. And you stopped. You might have stopped because of him though, I think. I'm not sure.
Well,
But we were messing around with that thing and jerking kind of. And then you, I don't remember, maybe you did stop because of him, or I don't think it was. But then you hit that torque at one point where then it jerked, and that's when I fell.
I know it jerked, I know it.
I think you just came down and hit it. You didn't even stop. And, you know, it would jerk because it went into a higher gear. And I think that's when I fell
He
off.
lost the balance.
I remember we were playing around. It really was, in my book, it was more our fault than anything because we were playing around with that torque.
I remember that's the first tractor I learned how to drive. Pull that torque back, I got it to the corner. Then we could turn it around and get it going.
Well, for years, we didn't have fenders on that thing, or for a while. Wasn't that the Super M that didn't have fenders when you bought it?
I'm not sure, I don't think it had a fender when it happened.
I don't think so.
How did you
There was
hang
a
on?
fender there.
What'd you hang on to then?
Well, I think I was right beside the seat and so forth, and that's why I didn't have
I
much.
think sometimes
I
it
didn't
was
have
that
much
way
to hang
because there
on
was
to.
no fenders. We stood close enough to the seat and held
Held
on
on.
to the
Held
seat.
on.
Dresses
light
could have
and
got
the
Well, I
caught.
know.
And seat.
Yep,
You would either stand on the drawbar
Yep.
or up on the axle and
Yep.
hang on to the light and the
Yep.
seat.
Unsafe.
Very unsafe.
Mom, you still remember when I got my hand in the ringer? Punch machine ringer?
Yeah.
We shell and peas, I think. My finger got caught in the ringer. It went through to here.
I remember, I thought Rose did too.
Oh, I think I did a couple of times.
Well, we had ringer washing machine.
Yeah, down in the basement.
Well, I always
You
enjoyed
said you
washing
were
that
doing
way. Why don't I do it
Huh?
today?
You were doing, what did you say?
I think we was
That
trying to
was
shell
push-
peas
but
that,
that was
And the
push
winger.
peas.
to pop the peas out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Wouldn't it flatten the peas?
I
I was
don't-
gonna say, that would
Well, I
flatten.
suppose you could adjust that.
Oh, oh, yeah.
It was something babies used to do.
It was something that we were trying to experiment or something.
One time, Dad was cultivating, case, two-row case cultivator. And I wanted to go out right with him, and he said I couldn't. So he was going down the row, and I snuck up, and I jumped on the back of the cultivator, and he was cultivating away. And I was riding along, and he got to the end, and he lifted the thing. And those springs got caught so tight in my fingers, but I dared not scream. He turned that thing around and let that down, and I got off and walked to the house in tears.
Did you tell him later?
That was your own,
He
that was
knew
your
about it,
fault.
Oh, why?
Your sins will find you out.
say people nowadays are doing terrible things.
But look at what our family did.
That's worse for them.
Oh, remember when John flipped the tractor?
Yeah.
He come crawling to the house, or how was
So he
it?
came into the house, he was scared.
He
could
was
tell.
shaking. His
Were you
voice
home?
was shaking.
I remember that.
I just couldn't-
Well, you
couldn't
know what, I
run
don't
around.
remember it a lot, but the pictures
Pictures, yeah.
help with that.
Dad would
He
Had a
was out
job.
working.
I'm sure I remember.
Yeah. Sandy, do you remember racing out the fire lane?
Oh, yeah.
We were racing Mom. We were determined this time we're gonna beat her.
We got out to the end and said, don't tell Mom.
Well, that's because you were trying to stop and couldn't stop.
Oh, we were going really fast.
But still is, you go out the fire lane, and if you go that way, you can beat them. You know, it seems weird that if you go out the fire lane and the person turns at this corner and has to turn that corner, they can beat you to 7. So we were determined, Mom had done that. Sandy and I were going out the fire lane and we said, we're gonna beat Mom this time. And we went. She was driving. We get to the corner and she went to brake and she could not stop. We're sliding. This car is coming. And away we went. We got up to that corner and she goes, we beat her. Yeah, but we almost didn't when that car was coming.
Was that the second time you wet your pants there? What was that? Now tell me the
I thought
story.
that was never gonna come up.
I can stop recording if you want me to.
Yeah.
What?
You can stop.
No, I want to hear this one in. I forgot what it said was, but I was driving.
It was out here on the road. Down through here.
Yeah, you were something about you weren't gonna stop or something, and we said, you gotta stop, we have to go to the bathroom, and you wouldn't stop. And finally you said, okay, and we said, well, it's too late now. That's all I remember about it, because we told you to stop, and you wouldn't stop. And then finally you said, okay, I'll stop, and then we said, sorry, it's too late.
You did it on purpose?
Oh, yeah, of course. You wouldn't stop when we told him.
Was it a camper?
Oh, I remember when Dad went up the hill, all of a sudden, boom, hit a tree. Up there.
Well, no, you were coming home, Jeannie was in the middle of the seat.
Oh.
And,
Van Watt was there right in the middle of the road.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
Trees hanging out the back of the
the,
thing.
yep, and we, yep.
came right hitting right in the middle of the front
Could
window.
have just cut her
Could
right
have
off.
hit her.
Oh, yeah.
Back
Well,
then, they didn't
it would have went in right at that time.
Did it come in?
Went up.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it kind of went up.
It went up over the.
because they hit the top part, just top part of the windshield there.
All right, shut it up.
Yeah.
Again.